everyone, and welcome back to the HyperNest podcast. During this chat, we interview some of the most influential people in the world of Web3 and DeFi. And today I have the great pleasure and honor to have a chat with Pavel, co-founder of TAC and Super OG. So before we enter in the beauty of TAC and the interconnection between Ton and Telegram, I would like to ask Pavel to introduce himself. How did you get into Web3? And what brought you to TAC?
Thanks for the intro, Alessio. Pleasure to be here. Yes, my name is Pavel Tuchov. I'm a co-founder of TAC, and to logically understand the way it was started and how we progressed, I should probably start back from the old days of Telegram and its ICO in 2017-18, right? So originally my background is investment, and that's where I was trained and made my career, asset management, and was invested in crypto space since 2017, and that was the year when one of the last three cycles hype of Bitcoin got the awareness of the people, right? That marked the 20 times up or 30 times up price increase of the Bitcoin, which attracted a lot of attention, and that was probably the reason a lot of Web2 businesses paid attention to, and that was the reason Telegram started thinking of integrating with the philosophy of free speech and the decentralization. Integrating, obviously blockchain was a solution for them, integrating it into the messenger, and they started critically acclaimed ICO, gathering and raising a lot of funds globally, and that was the first time I came up with the intersection of blockchain and Telegram. It ended not well, as we know, because of SEC rules and administration back then, right? Which ended recently, but that was the point when I started following the way blockchain not only emerged as a technology in an isolated manner, but intersected with something Web 2 and product we use every day, right? And that caught my eye, right? Because it was yes, it was a hype moment and part of marketing strategy for Telegram to benefit from. But the idea of using the already back then clear to me personally revolutionary technology with the Web 2 product was the way that would potentially get the adoption or would finally end, right? We will benefit from the upsides of the technology without even knowing we're using it. So, back then was anyways top 3, top 5 messenger in the world, integrating that technology for users to benefit from it without even knowing, the hardcore tech or DeFi concepts was kind of the thing which caught my eye, right? And since then I was following this space, and that was the reason I was invested in many incarnations of Telegram-based blockchain tech, and there were some, and ending up investing in Ton itself in 22, and that in turn pushed me in a direction of picking the vision that the tech will be finally part of Telegram. It would take some time. And understanding that the bet on the ecosystem development pushed me in the direction of building. So I became the co-founder of a liquid staking application, and it was end of 22. So that was from investor to builder. That was like a huge pivot to me. But that was on top of understanding the evolution of the technology, being integrated into Web2 product, which already back then on the back of my head made a ton of sense and probably is one of the only vector that should evolve, right? And coming into the builder experience and ecosystem experience of mine, we entered the space where the ecosystem was non-existent, right? So the blockchain was proof of stake back then already. It was transacting. It was scalable, innovative. The architecture was great. Something very different to what we've seen But no applications practically useful. Only a DEX was first DEX was emerging back then. So we started with liquid staking. That was the only thing which can be based upon the fundamental yield within blockchain. And I was always perceiving the products from the perspective of investment expertise of mine, which was the staking yield, right? So basically, our thesis was that everybody holding the assets should get the intrinsic or lowest risk yield on top of it, right? Which is a staking, right? So. We came up to the idea of populating staking in the form of liquid staking, potentially getting an upside of a liquid aspect of it, as people have the tokens still be staking the asset, and they can further down use it in DeFi, right? The problem which we faced from day one was that there was no DeFi, right? And we naturally were pushed in the direction of contributing to building for DeFi, and we've done several attempts there. But that was a pivotal moment, another one for us, that we understood that when you say DeFi, basically in the brackets you say Ethereum, and you mean EVM stack. And there are numerous reasons for this, right? One of the core bottlenecks was that the architecture of TVM, Ton Virtual Machine, because of the asynchronous nature of it and the sharded smart contract interaction rules, does not allow you to clone the architecture of those applications. You see traction already forming DeFi space in Ethereum, right? So that was the moment we started figuring out the way how we can arbitrage that, right? And we basically evolved from within the ecosystem. Back in the days, solely Ton ecosystem, looking for DeFi and yields opportunities for the investors, which we were looking as a stakeholder in Ton, an investor, which we were looking as a builder for the protocol, specifically LST, because even until this day, liquid staking on Ton is useless. It's only used as a retail staking infrastructure, which makes sense, but there is not much of retail. You can check the TVL of a liquid staking aggregated on DeFi Llama to get the point. It's 250 mil out of 16 FDV billion of the network. That means like no institutions are using liquid staking, right? So. Yep. And the reason for this, there is no utility for the secondary token, and in turn, the reason for that is the lack of DeFi. So basically, we started thinking in the terms of getting the yield into the ecosystem, and we've designed TAC practically as it is right now. So, which is high level is L1 EVM compatible, interconnected with Ton, organically allowing Ton users to use their wallet on Ton network to interact with applications on TAC, right? But doing so, from Ton to EVM, we understood that there is a much larger problem and a problem of industry. It's industry size problem, which is the lack of adoption, right? I recently stopped hearing this degen community term. But practically, the reason it became degen, which is a mix of engineers and early adopters, is that practically the reason it became degen. I was trying to relink X, which is not up as a standalone conversation with myself in the phone. So the reason
degen community.
Yeah, degen community actually is a very close one. It requires a huge knowledge base, either on a technical level or on investment level, or crypto Twitter style awareness and familiarity, which is a which is a kind of knowledge hurdle, right? So, but at the same time, there are numerous communities which are not being built around the technology as the degen community formed, right? It evolved from engineering community growing slower. I mean, it's relatively fast in growth, but it's still small, right? In contrast, there are existing communities intrinsic to other products and Web2 applications, and obviously social networks are being the biggest audiences you can target there, which you can play around in a different manner. You can integrate the technology into that community, and that actually was back in the days, 2017-18, the idea of Telegram. How to differentiate themselves, right? They were integrating technology into the community in contrast to growing the community around the technology. So, allowing TAC to bridge the engineering difficulty and allowing one of the few most used use cases, such as DeFi, for example, to emerge within Telegram, actually was solving probably only partially, but probably one of the biggest issues of not only the builder, which is solving the same problem, but the industry itself, which is the distribution aspect of it. So adoption would come only with the distribution abilities. Right now, we're 5 years out of DeFi summer, and to do a single interaction with the money market application, you have to sign 5-6 times within your wallet, which is a UX perspective, Web2 perspective is a nightmare, right?
Yeah,
it's still like it took the wallet to iteratively perfect its UX for 7-8 years, and still it is a mess. Try use the multi-sig ones, right? If you you have no familiarity.
I do. It's quite a few years that I use multisig. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think the fun part of all of that, it's that theoretically we already have the technology. So in terms of smart account, in order to reduce this sign and counter sign, we do have a new paradigm to apply. Just that I think that the user experience didn't catch up with the technology in this case, right? Not the other way around.
So
at least that's the way I see it.
One of the takeaways, as soon as we understood that something we're doing is not for us as tone investors and ecosystem builders, but it's something with a bigger vision and a bigger challenge. We understood the clear thesis that technology is working, people are still iteratively overcomplicating the tech, which is already working, without taking care about the use case, right? So the use case for the benchmark technology has not picked up yet, though people are still trying to make it more, anonymous, fast, whatever. Like that makes makes zero sense. You should probably the industry works in a way that it benefits those with a higher, crypto is a game with a huge differentiator because of the lack of regulation and a decentralized aspect of it. It allows you to get access to liquidity in early days. So this is a FDV race for most of the projects, and it is underpinned and supported by the industry players, right? The capital markets, the VCs, they all, make this flywheel rolling. Now the regime is changing. I think next few years, the rules of the game will have to change. But infra was getting high FDV, right? So now we have infinite infra protocols. Still Ethereum is working. You need speed, you get the rollup. But you're into low latency protocols like homomorphic, whatever you call it, and it's getting more and more complicated. Still, nobody is adopting other than stablecoin. And that appeared to be clear, and the fact that we should probably take care about the use case, and that reassured us that working towards the distribution access makes total sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think that I completely agree with you. Also, my background is in UX, so for user first, right? And to summarize a little bit, the journey was like, okay, oh my God, Telegram now kind of ICO, but problem with the ICO, a little bit like the destiny of Facebook with Libra. Then you started to be very, very interested in Ton, and also I think there was several spin-off, by the way, right? But you were very interested in Ton, and then you started to build on Ton, master liquid staking, and say, okay, well, liquid staking to be very interesting, like I don't know, like WSTAT, whatever. So these kind of assets are very useful when they have a strong utility into DeFi. So you started to research DeFi, but then you say, okay, well, it's not the, a copy and paste how we usually do in EVM, right? So copy paste works in a different chain somehow, a little bit of tweaks, but tax go. And then I say, okay, well, maybe we should have, an EVM chain connected to Telegram. And I think that where it becomes, and that probably is the beginning of TAC, what I think will become very, very interesting, super interesting in my opinion. You guys, you have done a great job in trying to abstract this complexity. Actually, I think it is a very good, interconnection with what we were saying before. So the bridging process, all the interconnection between, TAC and TON, it's almost completely abstracted. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit more of the work that you have done, behind the curtain, because I think it's extremely fascinating in terms of user experience.
Yeah, sure. It's and more importantly, this abstraction actually that's the core of the UX simplification, and UX simplification that what leads to potential adoption of on the product side, right?
Yes.
So after distribution and UX simplification coupled, these things have the potential, right? So we are increasing the potential of this thing. So architecture-wise, that we made it possible by running Cosmos EVM. It's called these days. It's EVM OS in the past based layer 1, fully EVM compatible, which has zero innovation. Like we've taken the proven TAC and coming back to the previous thesis that TAC is working. Our idea was to we would build nothing if we could. Like we would take the blocks working, grow with the ecosystem and integrate it in an efficient manner, right? Sure. The only thing we had to practically build ourselves is something which is called a TON adapter. So the way TON works with Telegram is that, and like there were two reasons actually for us to build a TON adapter in a way. It was first, we wanted the TON user seamlessly to work with applications on TAC. While we were building this, TON became the exclusive blockchain of Telegram, meaning that anything rolled out as an application within Telegram, and we would like to touch upon this as a Telegram mini app framework, which is there already for several years, and people are still not very much familiar with that. These applications, if they're interacting with blockchain, the only option you have on the wallet side is TON Connect. Basically saying that if you have a wallet within Telegram, that's the TON wallet you're using. So we've designed the blockchain in a way to interact with the TON wallet primarily not because of this. There was like an add-on on the way, but originally we understood that first, you don't want to fragment the user base. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be another layer 2. You don't want to be a side chain, classic side chain. As you know, practically you have to educate people not only to onboard into the wallet, but you have to educate them to register a new wallet, to bridge in, bridge out, to educate them about bridging, and that has nothing to do with the UX simplification, which that is the raising the knowledge complexity bar higher. So we took approach of cutting this whole process out, making the architecture work in a way that it takes care of those two must-knowns within the ecosystem, such as bridging, wallets interaction on the backend. And that's what basically a TON adapter does. So basically it allows you to connect on the TON side to the applications deployed on TAC. Mm-hmm. Also acts as a canonical bridge. and a sequencer. So it allows the wallet to interact with TAC layer and its applications. And if there is a cross-chain asset movement, it abstracts that away as well. So that is very important part, which is part of the UX simplification. And I usually, explaining the concept of interacting with applications and building this potential for the adoption, I frame it in like two pillars, right? So there is a UX simplification essential to be there, stage number one, which is a wallet interaction, which we touched upon. Right? So you have to make experience seamless to be able to onboard user into the wallet, which is a must for them to be within a financial decentralized service space, right? If we're talking about DeFi. Second one, so this is, by the way, is very well done by Telegram and the project which is called Wallet, right? It's a seamless wallet within Telegram. There are custodial and non-custodial version of it. You want to know how the proper wallet should function like, take a look at the custodial one. It's super slick and working with the team closer and closer for the last half a year, I'm getting a bigger and bigger fan. So it's done already, right? The second thing which should be there for the engagement of a new to crypto user, apart from onboarding him, like on ramping him in crypto and using the wallet, is the interaction phase with the application. So yes, the standalone thing is a product thing. We should touch upon that later on. But the UX simplification stage one, pillar number two, stage two, pillar number two, is the one about the UX simplification, which engages the tone adapter interaction with TAC. So basically, with us, you don't know TAC exists. You open the application, now you have all the blue chip applications either deployed or being deployed within Telegram these days. You just connect your seamless wallet and you interact with it. As simple as that. You should not be aware of like what blockchain you are on. You just hold the custody your assets. You do the function, use the function and features of the app, and that's it. You don't have to do anything but to connect your seamless wallet over Telegram.
Yeah. And that's exactly, I think, the most magical part of what I'm really, really a big fan of. But maybe you can tell us how the magic happened, So let's say that I am in my wallet in Telegram, and I want to, at some point, ideally interact with, I want to swap something. And I want to swap on Curve Finance using TAC, right, in the background, right? So how would it work? Assuming that I don't go to the interface of Curve Finance. So how would it work, step by step? So because I think that you're doing a lot of magic there. Like for example, you have proxy layer, you have the sequencer in the middle, you have the I think gas abstraction. So there are a lot of complexity that I think you have put a lot of work to simplify this experience. I think is where the magic is.
Yeah. If I understood the question correctly, let's highlight the use case from the user interaction first of all, and then we break it down. What are the essential blocks of it, and to be clear, what is done on the backend. So,
sure.
Imagine you want to swap your dollar and buy Ethereum or BTC or any core asset but the Ton. Ton you can buy right now within the Ton ecosystem, within the wallet. It's easy, right?
Okay, easy.
And you're using non-custodial wallet, right? Right now, it's already live for a few months. You just type in Curve, and there is a slider like people, channels, applications. If you're looking for specific applications, it's better to go into the app section. But if you type Curve, you'll find the Curve bot, which is a TMA, as we call it, Telegram mini app. The cool thing about this format is that is a in-app mini app, as we call it. You can develop yourself and deploy permissionlessly within the Telegram framework. This is one of the fundamental aspects of Telegram as a super app. That's the direction Telegram is heading to, right? Yeah. So As soon as you enter Curve, you see the bot. You run, you open the bot. It's no download, and it's internal in your messenger, in your chat, as we call it in short. Same interface, simplified to you choosing the asset you want to swap into the asset you want to swap into, right? You connect your wallet, single sign it. You don't have to authorize the pools. You choose the asset, you push swap and sign it again. That's it. So basically, we reduce the number of you interacting with the smart contract as well. The reason for this is that we have the TON adapter allowing you to connect UI-wise on the TON site with your TON wallet. That's the most important part, because otherwise this application will not be functional. You cannot just take the Curve from Ethereum with all Ethereum liquidity and port it into Telegram. So you connect to TON wallet. That's the important part. The next thing which happens is you engage, in this case, for TON bridge, not only to sync on a sequential level with the TAC, but also to function as a canonical bridge. So it, on one side, on TON side, it acts as a vault, storing your asset. It mints wrapped version. In our case, it's RC20 token of, I don't know, let's say USDT. On TAC, sends it to Curve pools, get wrapped Ethereum back, stores it as a vault on Ethereum side, and mints it in a TON wrapped version, which is called JETON format, which, you know, obviously you'll see the balance as Ethereum in your wallet, but technically that is a wrapped ERC20 wrapping of Ethereum itself, right? So that all of it is abstracted away. Also, the gas fee, abstraction is managed in a way that all the fees are right now are charged in TON, and we're moving in the direction of abstracting it further away to whatever balance you have. First to be included is the USDT one, obviously. But basically, on the technical level, you have interaction of two core parts, which is TON and TAC. And on TAC side, you have the TAC bridge and the layer fee. So the way it works while interacting with the application, we have an estimation model, which takes into account the current fees, reserve the balance in TAC, pays for in TON, pays the TON part of fees, taking the relayer, the Oracle price of TAC to TON, converts into TAC, pays for TAC on the adapter side and the layer itself. So and then returns the balance. So basically, for you, it's the simple TON blockchain interaction as of now, and further down the road, simple interaction which you pay for in whatever balance you have in your wallet. But that's what happens technically to make that all work, and that's, you know, estimating the question, what's the token utility. That's basically how TAC economically benefits from it as a classic layer one with an add-on of a TON adapter.
Yeah, and I think it is a great beauty of it, because potentially the users, you know, some users might not know, and do they really need to know that they are interacting with, I know, from a mini app with TAC, with Curve Finance, you're abstracting the gas. Do they really need to know? They don't, right?
No, so I mean, this crypto cycle era target is to get a lot of people using your product. Next, like in the vision and our goal, frankly, is a user to benefit from the infra we've designed to enable that, you know, benefits to be delivered to the user without even knowing they're using crypto, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
For example, imagine like my dream use case is that you have an application which practically they'll be very soon there. You push the button and you get the yield, which is double the yield you get in the bank, in a more secure manner. And without you know, being aware of the tech, complications, maybe even not very well educated on the financial investment front. That's it. Like you should solve your current issues of not being able to get access to the yield you can get, for example, right?
Yeah, I'm completely with you. They don't really need to know, even if they are on Ton network, right? As long as they are on Telegram and they are comfortable with it, and potentially there are some guardrails to protect them. They don't need to be ultra degen and ultra smart in order to not, get in trouble. I think it's already a good thing, no?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, the example with the wallet is a perfect example of the decentralized maxi thesis not being the mass adoption path, right? Mm-hmm. Because the UX should be simplified to the max. The technology behind it not always allows it for that. Yes, the essence of it should be utilized, but it should be abstracted. By the way, we see this thing, for example, from the ecosystem builder's perspective, we see that a lot happening in DeFi. The reason Vault technology peaked adoption that hard is not only because that is the trend, advanced DeFi allocation is moving on. Not really. Like the reason people started to allocate a lot in DeFi because they were even DeFi savvy and crypto savvy people. They were the interaction with DeFi became simplified for them because there was an agent and there was a technology providing the security of underlying decentralized finances, right? An agent being the curator, the vault provider, risk assessor, like they call them differently, but basically. Yeah. For the investor, he's crypto aware. He's doing those still degen stuff, farming yield. But right now he puts the money into the vault and gets the money out plus his notional plus interest, right? Because he actually, even the crypto aware people, like they get frustrated switching networks, bridging in, bridging out, using new applications, new pools, following the space every day. So that is basically saying that UX simplification matters more, right? Still, you have to benefit from the technology aspects of security, transparency, but in a simplified manner. So I'm not buying this thing. You have to be decentralized to your bone to make it work. Maybe other way around.
I completely agree with you. I mean, although I love decentralization never sell, and very often it's also against the when create undue complexity just against user experience, against the users. So I completely agree with you on the idea of Vault. So Vault, everything is a Vault now, and everything is a strategy. And if I need to pay, although I am, let's say, the so-called degen, and I've been basically doing things in the space since there was no DeFi, but I love Vault. I know the curators personally. I know what they're doing. I know what are the strategies they're using. I know that they have system in place so that during the night I can sleep. What's better than that? I can give to them 10%. I don't mind 10% of the yield, but I sleep at night. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I think everything is becoming already a Vault. The Vault of EtherFi, the Panoptics with options. Beautiful product. They're also building Vault because using the product you have to be, a PhD in math with a crypto degening addiction.
Which is like
I love it.
Which is narrowing the funnel to the max, right? So this auditorium is like, selected fews with the experience fit to deliver, constant returns. So this is, but it's interesting, from the asset management perspective, I was originally started building LST on Ton. I was looking into the asset management solutions in crypto. And I was looking into obviously the tokenization aspect of it, basically the smart contracts which would allow you to pool assets and allocate them in a more transparent manner. Not all on chain though, but still. But the way it's actually Vault is the asset management structure and evolution of asset management in crypto. But that is clear to us DeFi native, right? But the interesting aspect of it is that the success of this thing comes along with the UX simplification.
Yes.
And as UX simplification, coming back to the original thesis, it's essential to form the potential for the adoption. So like we're getting closer and closer, we're simplifying UX, the technology is more proven, The applicational cases in DeFi, which is still one of two cases apart from stables, the only one in crypto, is getting broader and deeper, and more importantly, battle tested with time, right?
Yeah.
The liquidity which makes it functional grows along. You know, the new cycle, Ethereum nearing the all-time high, Bitcoin getting liquid, like a lot of exciting stuff happening. So, and this is, by the way, is all Ethereum for another reason, because of Ethereum as an asset itself. So that liquidity function, making these applications functional, all you have to do, if you can, add the UX simplification to it and get it together with a distribution and shake it hard, right? So, like, what in essence our goal is, and our mission is, take the audience, and that's what technically we've achieved being on mainnet and with the applications being deployed on us right now, and get the EVMs there. So now it's probably same or most challenging moment for the industry and ourselves is to get the spark between the distribution and the technology with the applications in current use cases. Because, like, you know, for example, 1 billion users with let's say 6-7 clicks can open a Morpho application in the biggest independent messenger in the world. Like, it by itself, all they have to do is type Morpho and push enter in the search button. Open the application which appears there. So think of it, it's 1 billion monthly user base who can do that. Does it mean people will be allocating? Can we see that happening within this 1.5 month being on mainnet? No, we don't, right? Because distribution, access to distribution, that requires this spark, right? This, you have to shake this jar hard for it to work. The product has to change, right? The way the distribution actually has to happen, and we consider consumer applications as a distribution channel, right? So innovative ways of distributing the functionality of DeFi, for example, this is what keeps us awake at night, and that's what we spend a lot of time thinking about.
And that's exactly what I want to ask, because I completely agree with you. You know, on one side we have distribution, on the other side we have the UX, so we got to shake it hard. But everyone is talking about the onboarding these 1 billion of users. In your case, the 1 billion of users is already there, right? That's great. But how do we bring them on chain? So on chain, how do we bring to use blockchain without even knowing it? Because we have seen a lot of, for example, I don't know, a lot of tap to earn, the Notcoin, the Hamster Combat, you know, they have made incredible numbers, you know, at the beginning in Telegram mini apps. And it is good because we have always, you know, speculation when we somehow have a new technology coming in, and it was very addictive, it was fun, so why not? So my question for you is, like, where do you see, you know, these apps going? So what is going to be, you know, the killer app to bring, you know, a lot of these? I mean, it's a very difficult question, right? I mean, I hope you brought your crystal ball, Pavel. So what will be, or at least what are the verticals? Yeah. the genie is coming.
Genie, so, come out, please. Yeah. So listen, that's. We're literally having calls, team calls, whatever it's marketing, you know, board calls every day, ending with a debate on this, right? And you know the answer to this problem, obviously, you know, if you're on the product side, you don't know what's the killer app.
Yeah.
And like designing the space to breed killer apps, that's probably which can get you closest to this, right? So we see it in several ways happening. First of all, a good example are the million user base use cases within Telegram. For example, the tap thing, which I personally didn't get in the beginning, but then respected the success of the mechanics, obviously, but was always considering that the mechanics. Like, you know, the reason it hyped was that gamified mechanics promised you airdrop in a sense, in our crypto sense, right? So,
Yep.
which is, king for a day, fool for a lifetime approach. And it was like, as an example, and iteration on evolving momentum gain for even projects, it's kind of fine. Like the industry has to evolve, but it was clear to most that not only the mechanic, but the substance is required for that to really make the dent. So, what is important and what we're trying to populate within app builders and founders to be aware of is that now you can integrate financial mechanics into the applications you build, even if it's a game or a tab game or whatever. There are several innovative approaches working with the existing top grossing applications within TAC. Some of them are still, by the way, tapping games. They keep this momentum, it's not hundreds of millions of users, but still like, tens of millions of monthly users still using it. I mean, some are having fun, it's okay. Not just farming it, right? So the way how to educate them that basically having a DeFi API, as we call it, like simplified way of using the vault technology, using all the application layer on the back, the proper bridging, so you can just allow your user to connect the wallet. You can actually design things which are different. Right, so you can shape another revenue stream. For example, there is a good example of swapping the premium paid feature to the practically staking feature for the user.
Yep.
So he does not only pay a fee per month, but he stakes $100 for the period he's using the application, redeeming it par. Right?
Yep.
So, for example, the popular tapping game has zero revenue stream for people clicking, but if you tell them that they will be eligible for real money USD, not the fake token value reward in the end of the month, let's say, if you stake 10, 100 or whatever, the more you stake, the more your chances are you'll get a real money reward. You pull those assets, allocate them into to get those 8 to 10% base rate for USDT assets on DeFi, where we know coming from. You'll have the honeypot. You can either distribute within the users for them to get real dollars for the first most clickers or lucky ones, whatever you gamify it. Or you just, you want to click, continue clicking, it's free to click, but all the bonuses are multiplied or whatever the premium feature within your game is if you deposit this amount, redeemable in the end of the period you were playing, right? So these are, or buy now, pay later stuff available and possible in DeFi, even now with money markets issuing credit cards. These cases are like super clear, somewhere innovative, or like the clone of the existing Web 2 cases in buy now pay never. Sometimes we call it, with the collateral in crypto specifically. These are the cases which can be more efficient, more fun for the user, and they can utilize that using the Web 2 application, which on the back end will serve as a distribution channel. So this is one of the directions we're looking at, and this is actually what builders should be aware of, leveraging the access to distribution in Telegram. Because you should benefit from those applications which are there already. There is a trend of emerging applications which take the features and functionalities of full blockchain functionalities within Telegram ecosystem. We're enabling to deliver innovative program. I know non-bank deposit being one of those which I mentioned. Some interesting experiments on trading front. So the simplification and distribution of perp trading in a more in a simplest format. Gamifying it in a way, making it available in your chat directly. That's something which is happening already as we see it. So which of this pick it up we obviously don't know whether we will add a lot of value to the top grossing ones. We don't know either, but we keep trying and see a lot of interest from the founders looking to get some value out of that, specifically out of this clicking and tapping mania as well.
Yeah, I completely see your points, and actually there were a lot of use cases popping up in my mind, and while you were actually talking, because as soon as you have such a strong foundational infrastructure for DeFi, like you already have on TAC, right? As you mentioned with Morpho, I think you open up a lot of new possibilities. Like if I'm in a tap to earn type of things and I have a lot of hamster, why I shouldn't basically click and say borrow against my hamster, some USDT that I can use. Obviously, I'm using Morpho in the background together with TAC, but then I use these potentially whatever USDT or whatever you want to call it to buy coins in another app. In the really, really worst scenario, I'm gonna lose my hamster. So I think it opened up a lot of interesting possibilities, and also I see, as you just said, a great opportunities for builders to think about these mechanics and to think about how do we create potentially these middle layer, of additional interaction, creating a more DeFi interconnection potentially with apps or even a payment layer. I think I'm sure you have already thought about it, right? So that's why I'm asking to you this question. But what about looking at the future of other super app, like for example, WeChat, that we know that there is everything inside it, and many others, even Zalo in Vietnam. So probably Telegram is also going in the direction of becoming a super app, also opening up with all these functionalities. Did you see any interesting emerging trends that might be useful for anticipating the future of Telegram, Ton, and TAC?
Basically, the reason TAC exists and the reason Ton exists is the specifics of Telegram. So basically, Telegram is one of the few social networks which is not monetizing the data of the users, right? That's why the ads in Telegram work differently, not that efficient as in other messengers, right? So for them to grow into the super app, it's in our understanding a direction, obvious direction, and using the, let's say, in a good way, non-regulated, decentralized financial rails to do that globally is the only way, right? Because Telegram had an issue while being a Russian messenger, being an international messenger. Founder had problems in France because obviously bigger states trying to influence the messenger with their policies, and the freedom of speech aspect is a concept close to anyone but politicians, and geography is a political map, obviously. So that is the reason the infra is there. So will it? Is it picking up? Yes. The first and maybe the best example of this is the wallet. So it's something which moved in opposite direction. While people right now thinking that mass adoption will come because you use the technology which grew the community around it, you use this benefits, and you integrate Web 2 companies in it using the benefits. What I mean by this is, for example, using stablecoins for trans-border payments, right? The obvious add-on to the revenue model of big transaction-based businesses in Web 2. While, for example, wallet acting again in this way of integrating technology into community formed a huge base of paying customer with a lot of assets in the custodial and non-custodial segments of it, simplifying payments to the max. If you know the handle of your person in Telegram, you can send him any type of crypto, mostly, without them even knowing that crypto exists, right? So you just drop USDTs in the chat, and they see this. They to get it, click the button. They're in a few clicks. They're onboarded into the wallet. So crypto in every pocket, it's done. Box ticked. Like this UX simplification step one is stage one, as we discussed, right? But for example, now we enabling the decentralized yields for the crypto assets. Wallet is going in the direction of providing yield features within it. I think they have officially announced that they will introduce the earn button for USDT. There is a earn button as well, and advanced DeFi obviously soon to be the foundation of that yield. But that actually marks they have several revolutionary products to be announced very soon, and that actually makes Wallet a blend of Revolut and Robinhood alike applications going from Web 2 into Web 3 organically, right? So I mean, practically speaking, for us using Wallet often, understanding where it's moving, the super app features on the financial investment front are almost there, like most of them. They're in a short pipeline. By the end of the year, you'll see a lot of stuff happening. Hopefully, we'll see the hyperliquid of Telegram right within your mini app, super fast, super slick, easy and gamified. So things like this are happening, right? So, but what is important to understand that the pure cloning of use cases and applications from grossing in WeChat is not working. Like Telegram moved in that direction, which was an obvious one. Took the experience of builders, but only several games picked up, and that's practically it. The reason for this is the integration of the messenger with the state and with the financial system, because obviously we pay all these features of banking being integrated into the messenger. It's something opposite of a decentralization thing, and because Telegram is a global messenger and not regionally fixed to one entity, luckily, right? Aiming at delivering the service to everyone around the world with no guy telling what to do on the back end or God forbid holding the hand on the governmental level of the messenger.
Absolutely, I'm completely with you. And probably is the very own texture of Telegram, and thanks God it is different, and obviously definitely support Telegram that try to not put a backdoor for governments. I mean, and of course the founder Pablo. So and obviously we are discussing with a completely different game if we are discussing about WeChat and WePay, where everything is I say massively verticalized. Let's use this.
Yeah, I mean, the upside of it is the biggest application in the world, right? By far grossing everything out revenue-wise. But I mean, that's one of the biggest in the population, ex-biggest in the population country in the world. With the political structures, we know it. So here, ambition is to make something work for the rest of the world. This and maybe US, but US right now on the decentralized front have the Ton wallet rolled out as well. So basically, now the US market is the addressable market for our builders. Which is a huge thing, because coming back to the beginning of the story, 2018 marked the CES ruling, and since then Telegram was not moving, and Ton not moving into US by in any way, right? Now it's officially with this administration and with the decentralized wallet feature, they officially rolled out in US, and all of the things I've mentioned, including the earn and potentially some trading aspects, even within the wallet, will have a chance of getting traction in the biggest economy. So that's huge by itself.
Wow, that's definitely enormous, because I think, as you think, that probably it's onboarding people to this kind of financialized feature very often is just putting this feature in the wallet, right? So where you have money, you have the earn. Where you have money, you have the swap, in a way, right? And that's what we see with the all the biggest wallet in the world, but also all the biggest centralized exchange in the world, right? So they're trying to concentrate those functionalities there. It seems to be quite a strong trend. And I'm very compelled to know that now the wallet will also be rolled out to the US market. That is an enormous market, as we all know. But what's the percentage of Telegram users and now can have the wallet? Because I remember that at the beginning the percentage was not enormous. Probably you have updated data about it.
Yeah, I cannot talk about the precise figures, but what I can tell you, there were two strong trends. So first of all, there are two, when you open the wallet application, that allows you to